Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. We got the split screen, which shows you how important today's video is. Why? Well, mostly because Brad Garlinghouse just tweeted something out about Clayton, and this really makes you wonder, alright? This entire situation between the SEC and Ripple is really getting out of hand. Mostly on the basis that it really looks further and further like they have no case, like it was not so miscellaneous or random that they decided to sue him, and the timing, it's also coincidental. It all doesn't make that much sense. So today, we're going to be diving a little bit deeper into all of that, and if you are enjoying these daily crypto videos, make sure you press the like button, and obviously, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let me quickly also say, guys, it's not that easy to come up with titles for videos, especially if you have to make multiple a day for years now. It's not as easy as some of you guys might expect. So some of you guys say clickbait. What I usually do is just take an article or a piece that we covered and use that as title for a good part. So it can never be clickbait because we always cover it, but all right. My main takeaway from this, what are we referring to? Well, there was an article here which we covered in one of the earlier videos from the Wall Street Journal. So, Wall Street Journal editorial page says, we shouldn't assume we need to reinvent the regulatory regime just for crypto, write J. Clayton and Brent J. M. McIntosh. So, Unleash XRP is also laughing when he sees the name J. Clayton. And Brian McLaughlin, funny that name, says, the nerve of that man to even attempt to speak at this point is laughable. I have zero respect for J. Clayton and the SEC. They have zero clue to how they have irreparably harmed their organization. Well, let's actually check. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, has actually stated, my main takeaway from this, well, J. Clayton is joining the chorus of voices saying there is and has been a lack of regulatory clarity for crypto, and that stifles innovation here in the US. Definitely ironic, but better late than never. Cryptos, like nearly any new innovative technology, can be used for good or bad purposes. The problem is that the US companies seeking to be compliant and use this tech for good are left in limbo, or for Ripple, worse, because they got sued, because of a lack of clear, predictable framework. My favorite quote from the article, so once more, this specific Wall Street Journal article, we must also keep in mind the default rule in the American system. Innovation is welcome, absent from legal reason to oppose it. End quote. Words to live by. I am almost at a loss for words by the hypocrisy that we are noticing. And if you're wondering why Anders here said Switzerland next, is because that's of course where Ethereum went to kind of circumvent this entire regulatory wave in the US, and it's really starting to get quite peculiar. So one of the guys over in Discord actually notified me of this specific article right here. Trump's nominee for SEC chief reveals possible conflict of interest. Well, who is it about? You can already get it. This article is not new. This article is from 2017. However, the issue has been brought up multiple times throughout the last couple of weeks, specifically the last couple of days, and it's not just one article that talks about J. Clayton in the past. No. By the way, why I have this second tab open is because if I open it here, then I get this, right? So I had to open it in a incognito tab as well. Trump wants Wall Street lawyer J. Clayton to head the SEC. This article came out in January of 2017. People were all excited about this. It was looking really damn good. Trump looked kind of positive towards crypto. From a regulatory perspective, not that nice, but he was looking kind of positive. Now, I would say a little bit later, we noticed Trump actually was not positive at all. Even now, one of the statements that came out was that Trump definitely and harshly wants to regulate crypto to the end because he literally says it's a scam. Now, over on Twitter, many people are going back and forth about this now too, about what exactly Trump thought about all of this, what exactly conflicts of interest really are, whether or not it's the truth and whatnot. And here one of the guys actually is talking about that Trump is definitely not pro-Bitcoin, and the fact that this crypto stuff is a really big threat to the US dollar. Now, I'll help you out. For the most part, 99% of the transactions that occur on a public blockchain are public. This means that you can see who is sending, and over time you can identify these people. His arguments from Trump that Bitcoin or blockchain facilitates illegal behavior such as drug trade. Every major drug boss captured around the world has been found to be in possession of US dollars, but he is not advocating removing dollars. Look, China's president has been advocating for a central bank digital currency for over a year, and the government is extremely close to getting a functional framework and software in place. Well, yeah, they're almost done. As we have seen with Bitcoin, first mover's advantage is a powerful thing, but don't listen to me, listen to Rep. Warren Davidson, who said, either way, China is moving forward aggressively with a central bank digital currency, and so we're going to be following whatever happens in that space. There's really not a lot of likelihood we'll build enough momentum to be doing it currently, but the US central bank digital currency, at least soon. So we'll see how that plays out over in China and then in the US. Cool. Whether it's China or Russia, they've been longtime advocates of creating rivals to the US dollar, whether it's a different currency, a synthetic currency, basket of currencies approach. So I really hope that we don't move forward in a way that not only lacks what China and other parts of the world are doing, but ultimately sees us undermine one of our core strengths, which is that we are the world's reserve currency. Cool. Frankly, as we continue to delay in Congress, a lot of private sector companies, some of the biggest players in the space, are racking up patents to be able to lock out small, early stage innovators and trying to essentially dominate it once they do get certainty. So that's also unfortunate. Cool. And I mean, in fact, to be listed on the US exchange, Chinese companies don't have the same audit standards. And look, looks like China is going to release it before USA because they got their stuff together. They will have first mover advantage, and we don't even have a framework in place for CBDC. If utility tokens are securities, how we test is not law. How to convert tokens from securities to utility tokens. Are tokens securities, utilities, currencies, commodities? Trump doesn't like to be predictable. Keeping speculators second guessing is his go-to plan, is what one of the earlier guys said. That's again within this thread here above. I'm still waiting for the presidential directive for crypto to arrive. He is keeping me guessing, and I don't want to guess anymore. Which somebody said was really dumb, I think. This is the dumbest thing I've ever read. I would disagree there, even though I think parts of his quotes are not that interesting. What I would say is interesting is that there's been this question of clarity for so long. This is from 11 months ago, for example. Many people thought that with Jay Clayton coming in, it would be fixed, for example. Already a couple of years ago, people thought about that. Many thought that Trump would fix it. Trump has now reiterated that he's not bullish on crypto from the perspective that he actually, again, thinks negatively of it. Then again, a positive side towards it is that he actually considers Bitcoin and multiple cryptos to be currencies. And I really, really like that very much because he's literally stated that they are currencies competing with the US dollar. And I mean, to a certain degree, that's exactly what's happening. So for him to recognize that is a good thing. Then again, let's come back to this basis. Brad Garlinghouse was tweeting it out here that Jay Clayton has finally taken a different approach. Well, if you didn't know, Ripple right now is investigating the SEC. Of course, right, in the discovery period. More specifically, though, Ripple / Brad Garlinghouse / whatever are investigating Jay Clayton and one of the companies he's working for right now. I mean, he's been praised for so long, Jay Clayton. Yet, whatever he's done here hasn't actually turned out to be that positive for the crypto space, nor for anybody. And here, Clayton would succeed Mary Jo White, a former federal prosecutor who also had worked as a corporate attorney before being named SEC chair by President Obama. Because of her client list, she moved herself from deciding on cases affecting several companies. Mary Jo White is a really rational individual. We have seen Mary Jo White's statements before, and they're all just logical and bullish towards crypto and just good. Then again, look at this, right? This, for example, talking about the conflict of interest. At the bottom here, you can see Clayton reported earning of about $7.6 million. No, let's actually go above here. Let's, I guess, start out here. Clayton, and again, guys, I'm not the conspiracy type of theorist. I'm not trying to string together dots that aren't there. But I'm just trying to give you guys as much info as possible to make up your mind and to show you what is going on in the background. Clayton is among a number of Trump choices for top government positions who have pre-existing Wall Street connections. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin is a former Goldman executive. Leading economic advisor Gary Cohn was recently Goldman Sachs president, and Commerce Department Chief Wilbur Ross is a billionaire investor. Clayton's wife, Gretchen Clayton, works at Goldman as a financial advisor. The filing shows that they have assets of between $10 and $47 million spread over an array of investment funds and some stocks. Clayton reported earning of about $7.6 million as his partnership share in the law firm for 2016-17. He also expects to receive between $500,000 and $1 million if he is confirmed. So, I mean, there's already a little benefit for that one. He is slated to go before the Senate Bank Committee for his confirmation hearing this month, and he got it because some people said he can get it because of his connections. Some people said he can get it because, well, he had the right mindset for it. It's really difficult to say exactly what got him in. Then again, if you start to think about it, there's such a huge economic incentive for him to join. And he's literally fitting inside the glove perfectly. Now, that is again mostly for Bitcoin and Ether though. He's worked for a company that promoted Bitcoin and Ether. He wanted, of course, to get those properly regulated. The question does pop up in your mind, like, why, however, try to regulate XRP? I'm sometimes thinking maybe it's because he regulated Bitcoin and Ethereum in such a positive sense, and there's a lingering pressure for regulators to, just as I just said, for regulators to regulate it. And because he's been bullish on Bitcoin and Ether, he thought, you know what, let's go for the third crypto and sue that one so it looks like I did my best to regulate crypto. And in hindsight, I'm just trying to get a positive result for Bitcoin and Ether so I can make a freaking tens of millions of dollars and then get a lawsuit out there kind of trivially, just because I needed to and it's there because it's there, and we just go on that basis. It really doesn't make too much sense. Now, we do know, however, that U.S. senators are calling, this is from an hour ago, for increased measures to regulate and trace crypto. We do know it's there. We do know it's calling up. But again, why specifically XRP? Why not multiple cryptos all at once? Why specifically XRP? Why such a heavy lawsuit? Why the day before leaving? I keep on thinking maybe it's because of what he was brought in with, which is to regulate crypto properly on or with Trump, because that's again one of his main focuses. But then again, if that was the case, then why did, for example, Gary Gensler, who was one of the main focuses, also has to, set a new proper framework for crypto. Why hasn't he gone into action like crazy just quite yet? He has power. He's been in that position for a little while. Why hasn't he gone crazy like Jay Clayton then? Does Gary also want to wait for last day? Is there something bigger happening? Is there something going on? It's really difficult to say, but the more that we read on, the more that we start to think about all of that stuff. Because, well, here's another thing. SEC fires Republican audit watchdog after push from Warren and Sanders. I read that article a little bit. It's this article right here. SEC fires Republican audit watchdog after push from Warren and Sanders. Starts to make you think about what exactly is going on within the SEC. Who is deciding these things, why these things are being decided, and what their actual goal is. Is it to protect investors? Well, if so, then why sue Ripple? And why then, whilst this lawsuit was going on, claim that the investors who they are suing for to protect are actually not on the SEC side, but are on Ripple's side? Once more, the motion to intervene, which was done by XP holders, within the whole process, the SEC claimed that all those guys trying to intervene are properly represented by Ripple, which is the exact opposite of what they should do. If they're trying to protect the investors, why cause so much money in damages? If they're trying to protect the investors, why not get some questions from the actual investors? Why not come up with a proper framework? Why not? What they've done now is give us no info regarding Bitcoin and Ether and the stance and why exactly they went for all of it. All they did was give us, hey, Bitcoin, Ether, no, they're regulated like this. Why exactly or how it works, that's behind closed doors. Then again, when Ripple asked for those documents, they don't want to give them. Even though they said, well, I mean, Bitcoin and Ether have 21 specific points, which every crypto should abide by, basically. But no, we're not going to give it to you. No. You're going to have to look for it. But then again, we will not make it able to find. So there's, again, a really big problem right there. We cannot figure out what makes a crypto security, because there's this Howey test, but again, the Howey test is not exactly the law. It's a kind of a subjective test to a certain degree, because it's so old that it doesn't make a lot of sense anymore for these newer currencies and things. So it does make you wonder, it does make you think, who exactly is going to come up with a new framework? Is Jay Clayton going to be sued, or is he going to be investigated further? Well, yes, he is. We know that Brad Garlinghouse / Ripple is investigating him right as we speak. Then again, will they be able to find something? And if they won't be able to, who's going to take this further? Is the U.S. government going to do something about this? Are they going to figure it out as time moves on? Is Gary Gensler going to fix this? Or are they all one big pile of garbage? Yes, guys, I'm saying garbage because this stuff makes me angry. It's really one of the first times that I'm really let down by the way that things go in this system. I mean, most likely a lot of you guys have been let down before, but right now Brad Garlinghouse is tweeting this out not because he really wants to, but it's because he's also noticing. There's an article right now where Jay Clayton is showing again his other side, which is that he really doesn't make any goddamn freaking sense. None at all. And I'm getting so angry because it's like, You're freaking messing people's lives up with this XRP lawsuit at the start, I must say, right? In the end, it's a positive thing, you might say, because XRP is going to get properly regulated and have done nothing wrong. But also think about Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. If what they said is true, if there's been no fraud, then these guys must have had the worst times in their lives. Because getting sued by the U.S. government, you wish that upon nobody. That is awful. I cannot think of anything more awful than getting sued by the US freaking government in terms of stress. Maybe going into a prison in a freaking Brazil or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what would be more annoying. Yeah, Latin America, jail, I definitely would not like that one either. But you guys get the idea, right? It's just, he has to because it's so ironic. It's so strange. It's so ununderstandable. I can't grasp what exactly Jay Clayton's stance is. Does he want to regulate it or not? Does he want to do it properly or for his own personal gain? How can we figure that out? And how come the SEC has never let out a little statement of we're going to investigate, or maybe, I guess, Ripple, as they are investigating Jay Clayton now, will come up in summary judgment in the next couple of months with some new statements showing the conflict of interest. I have definitely seen it for myself where, once more, guys, Jay Clayton was very much incentivized to get a positive ruling for Bitcoin and Ether. Then again, from a different perspective, Trump is also calling Bitcoin a currency. He's calling multiple different cryptocurrencies actual currencies and competing with the dollar. If you see it from that perspective, maybe Jay Clayton is actually thinking most of these cryptos are currencies. Then again, why go so heavily towards XRP and leave? I really can't grasp. I had 2 other articles, but I'm too freaking heated up right now. In the end of things, these billionaires will keep entering the space. We all know. Crypto regulations might continue on. It might get worse from here on forward, but crypto is not going anywhere. Whatever regulations they push upon it, it's always a temporary thing. Crypto cannot be destroyed. I've put my money on it, obviously. I will not admit defeat in that perspective. Then again, it might be a little bit of a rough time for a little while. That, of course, might be the case. Who knows, right? They can always make your life miserable, but they can't, make it unrecoverable or irrecoverable, whatever, something like that. Yeah, I'll also keep covering these signals about the price and whatnot. However, obviously, the main priority for right now, for anybody watching the crypto space, is not any technical analyst, not any technical analysis. It is about the lingering crypto regulations and the lingering threat of a harsh news statement. There have been a couple that came out that didn't pass through. If one crazy statement gets passed through, like we saw in China again, it's not the first time, but again, it might definitely be another little stab or jab to the freaking face. I mean, no hugging like between Mayweather and Logan Paul, but, a real jab to the face, a real big one, a hard one. Let us see. All I know is that this whole Ripple ordeal, it's still, whatever you research, the more you get just messed up in the head. It doesn't really make too much sense. Why does the U.S. all of a sudden, with Trump's statements, for example, and Biden's statements of always wanting to be innovative and staying the number one and help economic recovery, help economic growth, specifically in the U.S. and specifically for the U.S. dollar, why not work on a CBDC as fast as possible? Again, that type of stuff would, of course, connect with Ripple, most likely. I do like that. Through XRP, of course, being the bridge. Why not work on it? Why not get this framework out ASAP? Why? And why can they not give us info on it? Why? They keep calling out for increased regulations and measures for it. But why are they so slow with all of this? How? Why? This is the first time in 100 years that the U.S. is really, really lacking. And I'm sincerely wondering what is going on and why they're doing that. Is it a money game? Is it a power game? What is it? I'm not sure. But we'll find out in the next couple of weeks here. The U.S. is cracking it down. The U.S. is going to come up with some new statements here. We know these meetings from the SEC behind closed doors are going to get some conclusions going. We saw G7 talk about CBDC, the group of 7. A lot is going to change the next couple of weeks, guys. We're waiting for a breakout for Bitcoin, obviously, but all of that is not relevant if we get some heavy regulations, because if we get some positive ones, you already know where crypto is going. If we get some negative ones, you already know where it's going. Specifically, XRP, I'm watching very closely. I'm going to trade that breakout if we do get a verdict, which I think will be coming, because in the end, it just doesn't make any sense. XRP is decentralized. XRP is, in my opinion, a currency. It's not going to be deemed a security, in my opinion, unless the whole system is rigged, which, again, we'll see.